Algo trading is becoming one of the hype and it's taking over the stock markets, right? And executing trades with minimal errors. I think this is the whole point of simplifying trades. To survive in tomorrow's financial markets, this is becoming a prerequisite. So everything is turning to automation, and today to enlighten us, we have Mr. Jash Patwa, Mohit Bandari, and Deepak Agarwal, the founders of 50x Investments. 50x Investments envisions to enable its users widen their portfolio and multiply returns through automation.
Hey guys, this is Darshan Mumaya.
And this is Naman Shah. Today we are bringing to you our first series of our podcast, Casting Commerce, and we aim to bring amazing content in the field of finance.
Before shooting questions to you, we would like to know a little bit about yourselves.
Hi, I'm Dash Patwa. I am studying at BITS Goa. I'm in my fifth year. I'm an engineering student as well as an economics student, and I got really interested in the field of finance once I came to college and witnessing the culture there. And from then on, I've always tried to, invest myself into learning about this field, and that's how I eventually came up with 50x.
This is Mohit Bhandari. So I'm also in my fifth year at BITS Pilani Goa campus. I'm studying engineering, electronics, and instrumentation. So engineering is actually quite different from finance. So how did we get started? The same story as Josh. I got into the campus, and then I got into our finance club, Wall Street Club. There's where our seniors taught us about finance and stuff. So that's how I got interested, and slowly I enjoyed it. So I started reading more about it, and yeah, so that's how we got into finance.
Right.
Thank you,
So
Mohit.
hi guys, I'm Deepak. I'm in my, I'll be graduating this year. So me, Mohit, and Josh, all three of us are, corridor mates. We lived in the same corridor for 4 years. And these guys, they were into finance, and I'm, from a computer science background. So eventually we started talking, and eventually we landed up with, we should start something in the finance world. These guys have the expertise there, and I thought maybe I can contribute something in the tech part, and maybe we could take that off.
Thank you, guys. That was a wonderful introduction about you guys. So let's get started. So the first question is, what was the thought process behind, the initiation of 50x investment? So what was your in your mind that led to this startup?
So the first thing that I want to touch upon is, so if we see anyone among our parents or our colleagues or जो भी हमारे आसपास रहते हैं, if we see their approach to investing or trading, they have a very different approach, right? अगर तुम उनका approach देखोगे, they treat it as gamble sometimes, or treat it like as if it is something that they can never understand. So what we bring to the table is a data-driven approach. We try to make them understand that that investing is a science, and if you know the things, then you can actually perform well. So that's what we are aiming with 50x investments, to educate people, to help them with data driven approach, and get them results.
Right. Right. Would anybody else like to add on to it?
We started off in a very niche category. We started off with creating a new investment vehicle in all its sense, opening up the algorithmic trading space to the Indian markets and to the retail investors. However, we realized, Indians aren't really ready for it yet, or probably they need to be educated a bit more and they need a bit more of hand holding. So we came up with 50x, where we'll try to build the entire journey of a user from learning about finance to exploring mutual funds, and and also offering our algorithmic trading service.
So actually, the whole world is full of retail investors. So there are so many people who are earning money and then they don't know where to put it. So how are you helping these retail investors come up with the experience of algo trading itself?
So we have many products, and AlgoCart is one of them. So AlgoCart is basically a product where they can see backtest results of algorithmic trading strategies, and we make it easier to invest in algorithms. So they can connect their broker, and then they just have to deploy funds, and that's it. So it's a like a 2-3 step process for them, and it doesn't require much from their side. and they can, it's just plug and play. So that's what we have been trying with AlgoCard, but we have other products. I think Jash and Deepak want to touch upon those things.
So in terms of helping the retail investors that Darshan mentioned, uh, ideally what a retail investor would have to go through to set up an algorithmic trading desk would probably be where he would have to learn little bit of coding. He would have to learn how to deal with brokers. He would have to procure APIs himself, if not using a particular broker, right? So all of these roadblocks are removed by us. We have the entire infrastructure set up. The second most important roadblock would probably be building a strategy. A lot of people struggle with the first idea as to how stocks move, right? Like everyone's tried to capture that art, but people have failed tremendously. So we've tried to use a data driven approach for that, and by giving investors the power of that data.
Right. That's something which is really required at this point of time, as people are not able to understand the algorithmic trading, and you actually are helping them not write long codes, because a lot of people are not into coding but still want to experience algorithmic trading.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's really wonderful. Coming to Deepak, I'm assuming that you'll be handling all the tech part behind the startup. So what are some of the challenges you face, or like what's your journey in building the tech side of things in the startup?
Right. So as Mohit and just sort of mentioned that there are a lot of things that you have to build to actually sort of generate a user friendly and a usable platform so that everyone can come on board for that. So building a product for the users, the major problem is scalability. Like you can develop, what most people do in algo in India or abroad. Like it's usually seen that they develop a platform that is for themselves. But if you want to build something that is for everyone, that anyone can come on board, so that comes with its own set of challenges. There are different brokers that we are trying to integrate. So there's this broker called Zerodha, there's this broker called Fire, there's this broker called Upstocks. So if you would have been a single person who wanted to do algo trading, then you would need just one broker. But now we're trying to support as many users as possible. So you have to sort of create all these uh, infrastructures for your code so that you can support as many brokers as you can, and that needs to be sort of a common platform for all the brokers. So those kind of challenges are there when you try to build out a platform. The usual stuff is there, like the UI, UX, the proper execution and all those usual stuff is there with every software. But for our
Right.
AlgoCard specifically, I would say trying to solve all the challenges that different brokers have is sort of the main key thing in AlgoCard.
Great. So it's like a startup, and you are in the college in the final year. What kind of challenges do you guys face while building your whole company? So, what are the difficulties, and how do you see the market around you?
I think the challenges are quite, common between anyone who's starting a business. But certainly in finance, one of the key differentiator is trust. So if people don't trust you, they would never give you money, right? They would never invest money in your startup or your product. So basically, creating trust is one of the main challenges that we face, because who like we don't even have that much credibility being a college student. But that's the challenging part. So you have to build trust for people, you have to build a community, you have to educate them, you have to show them that you know stuff. So for that, we are pushing out different kinds of CDs and content to actually make them understand that we know the science of investing and trading, and we can help you guys. So I think that's one of the key differentiating challenges in our field. I guess one thing that we can all agree on is building a good team. So that's a challenge that startups face, and we have also faced it. So basically, building a good team requires to actually know people, get to know them, understand them. Because if their objectives don't align with the company objectives, then it might be difficult, and it won't be generating the same output for any of them. So that's one of the challenges I think we have faced too.
How did you overcome that challenge? As in, or what did you think you should do that to build a strong and a good team?
So for in our case, many of our peop many of our college juniors who have been a part of the team in our finance club, they have worked for us. So so the first initial threshold goes there. So you know them, you are comfortable with them. So that's one of the thing. Other than that, we have tried to bring transparency. So if someone is working, we also like to show the results of their work. So actually they can see if they are making a difference and stuff. Along with that, knowing them better, asking them, what are your objectives, what are you looking for with this work. So it's best if the objectives align. So communication is the key, I guess. You have to keep
Right.
communicating and make sure that all are on the same page.
Right.
Considering that you in a college and building a team with juniors, so how do you structure yourself, like the hierarchy of a team? How does it work? Like you three are the founders. After that, how does it work? How is the team divided?
Right. So in terms of the team, like there firstly, like speaking about hierarchy, we've made it a point like to not keep any hierarchy. Anyone working with us for a month to working with us permanently will be treated the same way as any three of us would. And in you know maintaining the maintaining efficiency in our operations, what we try to do is we try to hold each of our team members accountable for a specific task. So they can come up to us, take responsibility, whatever they want, but we will hold them accountable. So that accountability, it generates a lot of productivity, and we've had fairly good success using that technique.
Right.
Yeah.
Does anybody want to add anything to that? Or...
Also, for student founders, I would say one of the major problems is like, see, suppose we are student, like we were currently students when we started it. So for us, it was easy to find out our juniors who are interested into this and want to work with. So, but suppose we had been 1 year out of college and trying to find out people, then that becomes a challenge. So for student founders, I think the culture in the college is a huge factor
Yeah.
to get out people who will work for you. Because if you are out of college and from a college that doesn't actually have the culture in the college itself, then it becomes very difficult to find people who you will work with, because then people would probably want compensation for their work. But if you have people who are into your college already, you know them, so they know the value that you and they bring to the table, and probably they'll be willing to work for a lower compensation just because of the fact that they might they're working for something that they also believe in. So I think that's another
Yeah,
factor.
so that's one of the other challenges, limited resources. So when you're starting up, you actually have limited resources, and it's difficult to actually build a team with that. But if you have the right kind of people, uh, who are who believe in your mission, who understand your work, so then it becomes a lot easier.
Right. So, like since you mentioned about the resources part, so like any startup faces this initial problem of funding. Any startup, like this is a problem
Okay.
which any startup faces. So, how are you guys approaching the problem of funding? And so, what do you guys think about it?
Yeah. So I think yeah, बहुत ऐसे misconception in industry, that if you have a fancy idea, or अगर तुम्हारा if you have a big names in your company, then you can get funding easily. It's not like that. You need to have a MVP ready. So if you don't have a product ready, then आपकी seriousness नहीं दिखती. It doesn't show the investor that you are serious about this. So how do you show that you are serious? You create a product first. Even if a prototype, you at least create something. क्योंकि सिर्फ आइडिया के पैसे नहीं मिलेंगे किसी को. You have to show
Right.
them that I have got this much thing done, and then only they'll try to invest or believe in you.
There's this huge, wonderful quote that I remember here. So, the best startup would be a company that spits out ideas. So, because spitting out ideas is not a big deal, anyone can do that. But to actually build out a company out of that, or maybe to execute it, that's the entire thing. And I think there are very good examples in India itself that have, sort of gone to a huge mile without any funding. So funding is not the the aim of a startup. It should be to generate revenue in the end and turn out a profit. Like to give you an example, Zerodha is a company that's in our field itself. They're a brokerage firm, and they are $1 billion valuation that they have without any external funding. They have it's completely bootstrapped. So yeah, funding is important for some businesses, but most businesses can go to a certain extent without funding.
As you told, how executing is more important than the idea that is valued more in the market. So we can see kids from first grade are competitive, and moving ahead, it comes till you actually come up with something great. And later in future, when you start a company, you see a lot of competition around you. How do you look at competition around you?
This field, we are seeing an inflection point in investing or trading markets. If you see in India, at least, right now we have around 4% of retail participation. While if you see developed countries, they have more than 40% retail participation. So it is about to go up. The market is increasing. It's a big market. So there are certainly a lot of competitors. So everyone is trying to get into the field, but I believe no one has, at least in our field, has reached the product market fit. So they are trying. Everyone is trying, experimenting, because that's the stage that the market is in right now. People are experimenting with product, and the company which finds a good product market fit, which is catering to the right users, then it will surely go up. So the competition is fierce. There are a lot of people coming in because the market is growing.
So I see competition, in our industry as it's pretty cutthroat, but it's also beneficial to us as a company since they educate our users. They also
Mhm.
build as they start putting out more material and more content. A lot of users are getting engaged with this content, and there's a livelihood and an interest in this field. And to overcome this competition, we definitely have to create our moat. But yeah, eventually competition is helping us, and we will likely grow with our competition.
So just for the algo trading field, I would say the pie is really big. It's not a very small pie. India, there are a lot of investors who want to find out a way so that they can invest their money in a better way. So the pie for India in algo is very big, and eventually, right now there are many players, but eventually there will be a few big players in the market. That's for sure. Eventually, so yeah,
Right.
actually competition is good because that is always good for the users, for the end consumers. Competition is always good for them. So for
Hmm.
us also, as the competition increases, the trust in algo trading in India also increases because other people also know that this thing has potential. So that I think for us it is beneficial.
Actually, competition actually leads to innovation is something which I believe in. And like each and every like if actually competitors instead of like it's not a negative thing, it's actually a positive thing is what I believe, because it makes you think even more, and even so basically it will lead to innovation, and you can think more, and yeah, like that will lead to better products. So
That's
what is your
true.
take on that?
Yeah, it stimulates competition, stimulates innovation. Uh, it also gives the customers a large array of choices, which eventually is better for the long run. In terms of competition as a firm to us, it will keep us on our toes. We'll always be constantly evolving and trying to cater to the customer closely. So definitely, yeah, competition is a positive for us.
Okay, so considering how you just told that that is cutthroat competition in this market, where do you find yourself placing your USP, or what is your unique selling point while you are trying to communicate to your customers, your users?
Yeah. So I believe our USP would be, our our superior product. So what I mean by superior product is a better UI experience, a better UX experience, along with the final outcome, which is superior returns. So these are the things where we are trying to create a USP for us.
Right. like, can you just talk a little bit about those products? Like, what exactly are those?
AlgoCart is our core product, and as Mohit has highlighted earlier, it's a product which has a lot of different kinds of strategies posted on the platform, and the user has to just sign up, get become a member of AlgoCart, and we will be selecting the stocks, we will be executing the trades, and we will also be exiting the trades. So that's a 0 to 1 experience completely by AlgoCart. Then we have a few different tools called the Mutual Fund Recommendator. So this is a tool which basically helps retail investors to figure out which mutual fund should I invest in. So when Mohit and I actually sat together for the first time to invest in mutual funds, there were 3,000 of them. To find out which one we should invest in was, it seemed really difficult at that point. So this is a tool which basically takes in a few of your personal details and it outputs a list of 10 mutual funds and the allocation amongst them. We have a product which is used to optimize your portfolio as well. So as you come and sign up with us, we'll be taking in your portfolio details. We'll be going through data, we'll be taking large amounts of data going back 10 years and trying to figure out, do you have the right fit? Are you maximizing your profits? Are you minimizing your risk? So these are the kinds of things the optimizer will do, and eventually it will rebalance your portfolio for you using data. So that is something interesting, and we're looking forward to launching that soon.
So basically, we are
Okay.
trying to remove
Yeah.
the biggest bottleneck for a person who wants to do algorithmic trading, that is coding. We are trying to remove that bottleneck for them, and we are trying to make it much simpler for them.
Okay. So, like how just told, there are so many products in the market, but I'm taking this to the consumer point of view. Okay. So now there is an investor. So this would be the last thing that we would be asking you. So when you take it to the consumers and they're not much aware about algo trading, so what would you tell them on trusting the system?
Okay. So, yeah, we'll, you know, we understand that that's a huge barrier to entry for any retail customer. Okay. I don't know algorithmic trading. I don't even know these guys. How can I trust them? Right. So, what we've tried to do to eliminate that barrier is we've come up with a, a free trial period and also a sort of a simulating experience where if you sign up on our platform, you get 1,000 rupees or so of cash in your account, which you can allocate to any strategy, right? Once you allocate this to a strategy, you can track its profit and loss and how it's taking trades over the next 1 or 2 weeks. Once you've had a feel of it, you've seen, okay, is it making money? How much money is it making? Is it taking too much risk? You'll be clear with all these things. And you've not spent any money till now. But in fact, if the profit does go in profit, if the strategy does go in profit, we'll let you keep all of that profit, right? So if 1,000 rupees becomes 1,100 after 2 weeks, the 100 rupees is yours. And now they've also seen it work live, and we believe that should help them trust us and
Yeah.
Yeah, like, that's a really nice, way
us
of
with their money.
making people trust them. Like, that's something which is really gonna help you. And so, yeah, this will be the last question. So, what is the future? Like, what do you think will be the future at like 50x? As in, where do you see yourself first? I mean, the startup, grow and the position of the startup in the market.
Yes. So I think we are aiming to become a whole fintech firm where we have a wide array of products serving to anyone who is new to investing, anyone who has been investing, and an experienced trader. We want to cater to each of these segments in the market with our products. So yeah, so that's what we are aiming at. Anything to add, Josh, Deepak?
Ideally, uh, we would. So initially, of course, it's going to be a tough ride where we'll try to last it out. But towards the end, we just want to make sure that, if anyone is investing in the market, they're using professional advice, or they've been educated themselves. And we would like to play a huge role in that, either of those capacities, that either we help educate them or we help manage their money through our research.
Right.
Okay, guys. Thank you very much, Deepak, Mohit, and Jash for being on Casting Commerce, the first lecture series that we have started. It's a great inspiration to see college students coming up, especially from an engineering background. When you go to commerce background, try your hand out that. It's a great inspiration for try and error for people. So this is what would be the take back for every viewer. From Casting Commerce, this is it. Please do like, share, and subscribe our channel. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Naman
Thanks
and
a lot,
Jash.
guys. Thanks a lot.
Our pleasure. Our pleasure.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Naman.
guys. It was
Thank you
great
very